Hello. This video tutorial will guide you through the basic steps in completing the check requisition form. Before we begin, let's identify the main payment types. Use the check requisition form for payments to a supplier, which include a limited or incorporated company, an invoice from a medicine professional corporation, and rent or lease payments, where no purchase order can be tied to the invoice. A T4A independent contractor, for services provided by a self-employed contract worker. A foreign T4A NR, which is payment for services in Canada provided by a non-resident payee. An employee reimbursement, for approved out-of-pocket non-travel expenses. And lastly, T4A payments, for paying an honorarium or speaker fee to a payee that is external to Queen's. Services provided by non-Queen's individuals, and services provided by non-limited or non-incorporated companies. We are here to assist you. Visit us at www.queensu.ca/financial-services/support.html or email accounts.payable@queensu.ca or call 613-533-2050. For this demonstration, let's set the stage for a typical payment scenario. You have received an invoice from a local courier company with whom your department does business on a regular basis. To initiate payment for the invoice, you will prepare a check requisition form, attach the original invoice, and forward the form to Financial Services for processing. To locate the check requisition form, navigate to the Financial Services homepage. Click on the Forms tab. In the list of forms, click the Check Requisition HST link. On the Check Requisition form, notice the Reset Form button. If you are completing more than one check requisition during a single session, or if you wish to start over at any time, select this button to clear all information appearing in the current form. The Form Instructions section at the top of the form will provide you with information and guidance relating to policies, approvals, documentation, and links to additional resources. Notice the Print Instructions box. To avoid printing the Form Instructions section on your printed form, it is recommended that you do not select this box. Next, scroll to the Payee Information section. Select the payee's mailing address. Since we're paying a company external to Queen's, select External Mailing Address. Select from a list of payment types. Since we're paying a non-limited, non-incorporated company, select the T4A box. Now let's enter the business name and address information. Please make sure to include the business owner's social insurance number and full name for T4A reporting purposes. To complete the province field, click the down arrow in this field and make your selection from the list provided. In the Payment Information section, select the nature or purpose of your transaction. Since we are paying an invoice, select the Payment box. To the right of the screen is the Wire Transfer box, which you will select when the method of payment is a wire transfer. Please note that a wire transfer is not the same as direct deposit and that there is a charge to the department for a wire transfer. Selecting this box once will populate a number of fields specific to wire transfer banking information. Selecting this box a second time removes the wire transfer section from the screen and from the printed form. Now let's enter the description of purchase. The description should clearly define the business purpose. This detail will appear under the line description column on your Statement of Operations report. Since the report field is limited to a maximum of 30 characters, enter a brief but meaningful description. In the Receipt Invoice Information section, the first selection you are required to make is with regards to the documentation that you will attach to the form. The options are Original Receipts Attached or Original Invoices Attached. Since we're paying an invoice, select the Original Invoices Attached box. Notice the Add Row and Delete Row buttons. When paying more than one invoice, you will add additional rows for data input. To delete rows, click the Delete Row button. Using the information located on the invoice, complete the next 5 fields. To complete the date field, click the down arrow and select the date from the calendar provided. Notice the form calculates the sum for amount excluding HST and the HST columns and populates the totals for each column in the total row. In the Account Information section, as in the previous section, you can add or delete rows as required. If you wish the check to be held in Financial Services for pickup, click on the Hold Check in Financial Services box. When the expense is in relation to a book purchase, be sure to charge a book account and select the 100% rebate on the 5% federal component of HST box. This will ensure the rebate is applied to the account. In cases where there is a need to self-assess HST on purchases, select the appropriate box in the Self-Assess HST section. In most cases, selecting a box in this area will not be required. However, it is important to understand the definitions behind each of these boxes and to make the appropriate selection when required. To learn more, view the Guidelines for Self-Assessing the HST link located on the Financial Services website. Notice that when you completed the 2 amounts in the previous section, the form populated the HST and the invoice summary total fields. Next, complete the chart field string area to indicate where the expense will be charged. The Fund, Department, Account, and Amount fields are mandatory. When charging a research project, the project field is also a mandatory field. In some cases, you may be required to include a program ID and/or a class ID. The key is in knowing your chart field string structure and reporting requirements. The form calculates the sum for the subtotal excluding HST field and updates the figures in the total and the invoice summary total fields. Notice the HST exempt box. There are 2 possible scenarios where you would select this box. 1, when the purchase itself is exempt from HST, and 2, when 2 or more chart field strings are being charged, and you want to ensure that no part of the eligible HST is applied to a specific chart field string. Lastly, notice the currency box automatically defaults to Canadian dollars. If paying in US dollars, click the down arrow and select the USD currency option. In the Signature section, complete the Prepared By and Approved By sections. To select the date, click the down arrow and select today's date from the calendar provided. In the Approved By section, enter the name of the approver, the position, and the date the form is being signed. The approver is someone who has signing authority for the department and fund, or in the case of a research project, the person who has signing authority for the project. 1/1 approval is required for employee reimbursements. Before printing the form, here are some helpful tips to review. Ensure there is only one payment type per form. Be sure you have assigned the correct chart field string. Check that you have detailed the business purpose and noted all exceptions. Ensure the expense aligns with the university's expense policy. Next, scroll to the Submission Methods section to review last-minute instructions. To avoid printing the Print Submissions instructions on your printed form, do not select the Print Submissions Methods box. There are several print options from which to choose. However, we suggest using the Print Form button, as this selection will validate a number of fields to ensure there is no missing information. Lastly, before sending the form to financial services for processing, attach the original invoices, or in the case of a reimbursement, all original receipts. Ensure the form is dated and includes valid signing authority and approval signatures. The form must be signed and authorized by someone who has signing authority on the fund and department or research project. And remember, 1/1 approvals apply for employee reimbursements. Congratulations! You now know how to complete a check requisition form. To learn more, visit us at www.queensu.ca/financial services/support.html, email us at accounts.payable@queensu.ca, or call 613-533-2050.